What do we have for Libra? Four of Pentacles, Capricorn energy at the foundation of the reading, Libra. Libra, I've been getting two messages for all of you leading up to this reading. The first one was that you need to hold back from reacting to something that is taking place in your life. And the second message was you need to stop holding back from taking a specific action in your life. And interestingly enough, I feel that both of these are interconnected. So let's go ahead and start unpacking the first part of what I'm getting here. Libra, I've been getting something surrounding a group of you dealing with individuals that may be speaking negatively on your name. And Spirit really wants you to change your approach on how you go about reacting to these sorts of events moving forward. Because there's something about you taking on this new mindset and this new approach, which is actually going to open the door to a new beginning for you. So you're basically letting go of a behavioral pattern that may not be serving your highest good any longer and replacing it with a new approach that is going to serve you where you are going to. Now, what I was getting, Libra, is that you need to redirect this negative energy in your favor. Now, it's all in the way you respond and you react to these sorts of things. And once you start to really get a grasp on how this sort of energy works, it can allow you to take complete control of the situation and redirect all that negative energy to work in your favor. You see, when people are speaking negatively on your name, there's typically going to be a couple of things that are at play there. The first being that there could be some jealousy there could be some envy there. You have something or you're attaining something that they themselves aren't able to access in their reality. So when you look at it in terms of just forgiving these people because they really don't know any better, that can be one approach. But what I heard, Libra, is that you need to allow this negativity to energize you. It's like finding out somebody has been speaking on your name and it excites you. This is something I've learned to do as well, Libra, because I know that when this happens, I have been handed full control over the situation. When these events take place, I try to center myself, take a deep breath, and understand that this is a sign that I'm about to have a big breakthrough in my life. And my best course of action is just to laugh it off and prepare myself for some new great blessing or some sort of assistance from the divine. This is called transmuting negative into positive, and by taking this approach, you are able to do it in a very systematic fashion. You also redirect not only that negative energy back towards these people, but you're able to send a little bit of resistance back to them that you may have been dealing with in your life. Now, on the other hand, Libra, there is a new beginning that is requiring you to leave something behind because it can't go. Now, this can certainly be connected to what we just spoke about in regards to your reaction in the face of negativity, but it could also be something else. So you have to fit it where it resonates. But I feel that Spirit is really making this as obvious as possible for you, Libra, so you don't miss it, right? So you don't overlook something here. What do we have at the sacral, please? Wow. 8 of Cups, Pisces energy at the sacral. And everything I just said, Libra, can be reduced to this single card. 8 of Cups, which is an energy of leaving things behind, having learned your lesson now, and you're better for it. And see how he's holding, well, it looks like he's holding his sacral solar plexus region, right? Right here. So an energy of overcoming the fear of reacting to the negativity. See, that's actually really interesting when you think about that, because reacting in this capacity to this negativity is you responding from a place of fear. Now, this is really difficult to do. This is not easy for anybody, especially you, Libra. But if you can just really take a step back and try and look at things from this higher vantage point, this is going to serve you in a massive way moving forward here. It's time to break cycles. It's time to break old behavioral patterns, things that just aren't working moving forward in your life. A lot of you Libras are getting to the point where you're starting to realize that certain ways of doing things and certain ways of living are not going to work anymore moving forward. And this is one of the hard realities of going through different kinds of spiritual awakenings. You realize that a lot of the things that you were taught in your younger years actually don't work. They were taught to you by people who didn't know any better themselves. This is something that I had to come to terms with and something that I had to really try and wrap my mind around. But when you can just really start to question everything that you have been told and taught up until this very moment, and then reconstruct a reality for yourself based on what actually works and what actually remains moving forward, you can change your entire reality, Libra. It's like rewiring the way you interface with life. See, the way we interface with life is something that was, again, programmed into us from the moment of inception. We just started to take in information from our surroundings, the people that were the authority over us, or the people that took care of us, our family, our friends, all of these different people. We interface with our reality based on a collection of these things. This is why they say going into hermit mode is so important when you're going through these sort of chapters in your life, because going into hermit mode is, well, it's an energy of solitude. It's an energy of you just taking some time out to be alone. You're doing some soul searching. You're getting into a place of introspection so you can kind of clear the slate and see what's what without the outside noise. This is incredibly important. I mean, it's crucial. But there is an energy here, Libra, where I feel that you're finally ready to let go of this old way of doing things, these people, this area, these behavioral patterns, whatever it is for you in particular. And I also feel that a lot of you have a vision that you're going after, and what you're having to overcome right now is the necessary component to be able to get to that vision. You know, when you can start reframing the way you live your life and the things that you have been engaging with as possibly collections of blockages to keep you from your highest good, you can really make a lot of headway here, Libra. Do yourself a favor, give yourself a fighting chance, and release things from your life ruthlessly, and start to take note of how much ground you actually begin to cover. And this can obviously most commonly have to do with individuals that we have around us, energies that we allow to influence our day-to-day reality. And sadly, a lot of these energies are going to be right underneath your nose. You'll be shocked because they're things, they're people, whatever it may be for you, that you would have never expected would have made a difference. But if you aren't seeing any sort of progress in a certain area, Libra, and it's nothing that you yourself are doing, sure, there's behavioral patterns. Some people get wrapped up in addictions and things like this, and those are always the first things that you should try and address before you start looking at your external environment. But if you're just not getting the results you're looking for, and you know for a fact it's not something that you are doing, then this is a sign. It's time to start seeing what's going on with the energies around you. And then right on the bottom of the deck, I have the Eight of Wands and the Chariot. So, wow. And the Page of Swords. So the Chariot and the Eight of Wands are two of the main cards of movement. Okay, so this would be the result of everything that we're picking up here. You're starting to have movement now. And then Page of Swords, there's that gossip, that slander, some sort of outside energy, which is creating a blockage for you. And then right there, I have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles in this deck is really speaking about you being in between worlds, everything that you've always known, and what the divine is trying to align you with is on the other hand, right? And we have the Crow coming through, so there's this energy of transformation, rebirth. The crows are trying to drop messages to you. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Five of Wands, wow. Yeah, okay, so there's definitely a disruptive energy around. I think that we've already concluded that here, but this really highlights the fact that I feel it's energies that you have around you, Libra. Five of Wands speaks about some sort of obstacles that are creating challenges on your path, really draining you of your energy, draining you of your time, basically just getting you to waste all those precious life clock minutes on whatever this is here that you are engaged in with these individuals. Now, when I see an energy like this, Libra, this is very common, especially when you are on this trajectory that you are on, because like we picked up, there's this jealous, envious energy. And I feel that this has come from people that you would have never expected. It could be that coworker that you thought was your friend. It could be that friend you've had since childhood. It could certainly be a jealous parent or sibling. It could be anybody that's really close to you, right? People that are threatened by your growth and feel less than because you quite possibly might be on a path that is going to see you being much more successful than them, or just even doing better than them. There's two things that I feel can really create massive divides in families, Libra. The first one, inheritances, wills, things like this. And the second one is the family member who succeeds and the family member who does not, or the childhood friends. One succeeds and one is still stuck in the past, okay? So place that as it fits for you, but I'm getting something like that here. So you need to recognize these energies for what they really are. Stop making excuses up for them. It's time to really accept the truth so you can give yourself a fighting chance and move forward and step into this new timeline. You know, there's this sort of, well, it's kind of like survivor's guilt is what I'm picking up here as well. It's like you have survived the matrix, so to speak, and these individuals are still indoctrinated into it. And you almost have a sense of guilt because Spirit chose you to wake up from this and step into your power. But that's not your fault, Libra. You probably just sacrificed more or was willing to sacrifice more things that weren't in alignment with your highest good because you wanted more. You knew there was more. You decided that you wanted to live a life where you were squeezing every last drop out of it so you can do your absolute best to try and fulfill any sort of purpose or destiny that you might have in this life cycle. And hearing myself say that, I mean, you would think, who wouldn't want to do that? But that's just it, Libra. This is something else that you're going to have to come to terms with. The percentage of people that have this mindset of wanting to squeeze every last drop out of this particular incarnation like you have is probably less than 0.5% of the world. Probably even less than that. Okay, there's very few people that actually get it. Most people that you come in contact with in your life, Libra, aren't going to be awakened the same way you are. They'll think they are, they'll say they are, but they're not, okay? Because if they were, they would be putting in the exact same work you are, or they would do something that is sort of in the realms of what you are doing as well, but is custom made for their particular path. In other words, Libra, you know when people are going through the process and when they're not. And the more you start to realize this, the more you start to distance yourself from people, because you know that if you don't do this, you are quite possibly jeopardizing your growth, all the work that you've put in up until this point. And there's just too much to lose now. And I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about the work that you've put in spiritually. All it takes is reconnecting with some of these old energies and allowing them to pull the wool over your eyes again for you to unravel all the work that you have done up until this very point. In fact, some of you may have slipped back into it over the years. I know I did. I would start to go through a little bit of an awakening, and then all of a sudden I would reconnect with somebody from my past, and I would just slip back into old ways. And then maybe a year later, I would try and go through it again, and there was just this pattern. And most people go through this. You never get it right the first time, because when you slip back into those old ways, this is when you truly start to recognize the power of this opposing force, right? The shackles of these principalities that are not going to make it easy for you to break away. I'm hearing something about quite a lot of you having gone through processes like this 3 or 4 times. You know, the way this can show up in your everyday waking life is you going back to an old relationship multiple times and just keeps getting worse and worse. And you just feel like every time you go back and then you leave again, it's like you've lost more time, more months, more years, or this can be that really toxic family member who just drags you down and causes you to start back at square one merely because you were entertaining their toxicity again. Or it could be that friend. What do we have at the heart, please? Strength. Leo energy, right at the heart. perfect. Because this to me is really representing this opposing force. It's like it's coming up as this lion, right? The beast. But here you are, there's this kind of very balanced, very courageous energy about you. There's this inner strength that is just emanating off of your being right now, Libra. And I feel that you have finally gotten to a point now where you're equipped to face off with these kinds of energies when they try to make their way back in. You recognize now that your lack of self-discipline in dealing with these energies was creating a major blockage in your life. Libra, depending on what has been outlined in your mission statement, because it's going to be different for all of you, but this can absolutely come down to one single toxic person in your life. And especially in this day and age, because we have such a heightened sense of awareness due to the shift that's taking place at the moment. There's a kind of splitting of our reality. There's those of you that have been putting the work in that are ready to align with everything that is working in favor of your highest self and your highest good, the highest good of all. You desire more. You have a hunger for life, and it excites you when you think about it. No matter what may be going on around the world, it's a very exciting time to be living in. Because if you have the kind of mindset that is coming off you here, Libra, there's just no limit to what you can actually accomplish. Spiritually speaking, it details a group of you really on the front lines and understanding what it takes to shift into this new timeline. And then there's all of those, right? The people that you may be dealing with that refuse to change, that refuse to grow up, but they also refuse to let you go, because letting you go and having to watch you move on to this new timeline, this new life, however that may be showing up for you, forces them to have to look at themselves in the mirror. And that is not something that they are ready to do. You know, I always mention this. It's easier for these people to try and stop you than to put the work in to try and meet you where you're at. And that sounds absolutely wild, right? But I can't tell you how true this is, Libra. And I think a lot of you already know this. But for those of you that may be just starting out on this path, you need to take a second look at all of the people around you that you thought you could trust. Now, that's not going to be for all of you. Okay? But if you just use a bit of common sense and you just start to audit your friendships and your connections, so to speak, given where we are at right now, astrologically speaking, the blockage is going to appear to you, Libra. In fact, I feel like it's already appeared. I feel like you already know where this resistance may be coming from, but unfortunately, you may not be wanting to accept it. See, acceptance is the hardest step because you blame yourself a lot of the times as well. But again, Libra, to reiterate, if you're not seeing the results that you should be seeing with where you are at on your path, then you need to take a closer look at the energies that may be surrounding you. What do we have at the throat, please? Nine of Swords, Gemini energy at the throat. Libra, this is an energy that is really calling for you to look at things from a different perspective. Look at things from your higher self's vantage point. Disassociate from your identity and the people in your life just for a few minutes and look at the trajectory of your soul having been incarnated into a human vessel, or rather avatar. This will help you to gain perspective over what you may be dealing with right now, because there's a bit of fear that I'm picking up here that's associated with you breaking free from something. And I really feel that Spirit is trying to get your attention right now. You may have not been feeling like yourself lately. Maybe you've been feeling a bit anxious or something like that, and I feel that it's because of these energies that you have around you. I also got a message before the reading that there's a number of you out there that are very sensitive empaths. You're having this heightened sense of awareness that is really beginning to have an effect on you emotionally speaking. And the reason why this is taking place is because you are getting ready to be elevated into this new timeline where you're going to have this heightened sense of awareness emotionally speaking. It's kind of like a superpower coming online. So what's the takeaway from that? Well, pay attention to how you feel when you're around certain people, doing certain things in certain areas, and take note of that, okay? This is very important right now, Libra. Don't ignore the way you feel, spiritually and on a gut level. I also just heard something about headaches as well. It's like being around certain people and you start to get a headache, or there's some sort of symptom that pops up out of nowhere. What do we have at the third eye, please? Knight of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy at the third eye. Okay, so yeah, this is confirming what we're saying here, Libra, because there's this energy of you implementing some sort of lifestyle changes into your life. I'm also hearing something surrounding what you will and won't entertain moving forward. Okay, I'm hearing something about raising standards as well. So this is all touching on what we've been speaking about in this reading up until this point. So it makes perfect sense. And it's coming out at the third eye. So this is you now just really trusting what you're seeing, right? Seeing beyond the veil, so to speak. Spirit is giving you the sight to see so you can begin to accept these truths. So I'm hearing that you need to really trust what you're feeling. Your intuition will not steer you wrong right now, Libra. Also, pay attention to the people around you who may be trying to gaslight you, okay? You know something was the way it was, but they'll try and tell you that it was different. It's like they do you wrong, but their gaslighting has you feeling like it was you. This is such a problem in our lives today. The way we witness this, not only on the world stage, but it's like this is how people get down now. They just get so desperate that their last-ditch effort is to try and hopefully get you to think that maybe you imagined something. People are just absolutely ruthless. The thing is, a lot of these people get away with these sorts of things, especially if you're not the best version of yourself, right? You just allow people to tell you that you're crazy, it didn't happen the way you said it did, and then you accept that like, oh, maybe you're right. You know how dangerous this is? These are people that would much rather see you in a mental institution for something that you know happened than to actually admit that they were wrong. People will throw you under the bus if it benefits them. They don't care, and they don't care at what cost, and they don't care who you are to them. There's so many spiritually vacant, broken people in this world right now that are desperate to get a leg up because they know that there's a major fall coming for them. Why do people act that way? It's because of the knowing. They know that judgment is coming for them. So they're ruthless. They're desperate. They don't care the cost of trying to escape what's already on its way to them. And they won't stop trying to see if one of their tactics works. It's like people trying to use you as a shield, spiritually speaking. And this is why it's important to recognize these energies and get away from them. Because even though using you as a spiritual shield to stop the divine from coming down on them won't work, you can most definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, get caught in the crossfire by simply entertaining these energies. It's like an airstrike has been announced. And the divine's like, okay, Libra, you got to get off the field, get out of there. And you're like, okay, I'm getting out of there. And then you run back onto the field, right? They can't call the airstrike off. It's already been ordered. Same thing right here in your dealings with these people. So now is a time to really stand by the decisions you're making, Libra. What do we have at the crown, please? Sun, Leo energy at the crown. This card is the perfect card to close out this top row before we go into the second row here. It's just an energy of complete success, but this is the result of you moving in this very specific way, being very incisive about the decisions you are making, cutting off toxicity ruthlessly from your energy without hesitation. This is what this is all about. You have too much on the line here, Libra. You have been called to step up and suit up for your mission. Now's the time. If you hesitate, you run the risk of being caught up in the split. Because not only has the airstrike been ordered, like I said, but it has a way of transmitting to the universe, right, that you're good. You're just going to stay where you are, right? You're going to stay on the old timeline. You're going to stay with these people in your life, whatever it may be. And you have to remember that you program your reality in the way you move in your everyday waking life. So the universe just amplifies more of what you're doing back into your life. It's manifestation 101. The universe doesn't rescue you. The universe supports you unconditionally. You have been tasked with rescuing yourself. This is what this is all about. As soon as you rescue yourself, then the universe gives you more energy to support that. What do we have at the foundation, please? That card really wanted to make its presence known. 5 of Swords. We also have the 5 of Wands here. So there's a lot of conflict in this energy here, Libra. And the Five of Swords from this particular deck is highlighting the fact that there's some sort of unhealthy relationships that you need to terminate from your life. This can also speak about you needing to release any sort of past resentments that may be connected to some of these cycles, things that just aren't going to serve you moving forward. But overall, the Five of Swords represents tension. It can be a violent, abusive energy as well. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be spiritual. So really just place it as it fits here. But I'm hearing something here about individuals that are dealing with this kind of energy in their life, and you need to stop putting up with this. That's really going to speak to somebody out there. I felt that one. Somebody is staying well past the expiry date. It's like you're sacrificing your happiness and your integrity, and you're appeasing somebody who doesn't even deserve to have you in their life. Four of Pentacles stacked with the Five of Swords. That's the perfect definition of that pairing. You're appeasing somebody who doesn't deserve to have you in their life. Okay, let's keep moving forward. What do we have at this sacral, please? Three of Pentacles. Capricorn energy. It's like there's this energy of stagnation, and this is my bull in a china shop card, right? So it's like this energy is standing in front of you. It doesn't have to be literal. It's more energetic, more spiritual. But it's blocking you from making a necessary move here. That could be literal. Some of you might have to literally move away from this energy, just depending on what your situation is here. But it's like right here, he's holding that sacral solar plexus region. Overactive sacral, so there can be some emotions attached to this. This could really speak about those of you out there that are dealing with people that are very close to you, that you feel emotionally attached to, but you know are holding you back. And that Five of Wands at the solar plexus here. This is an energy here where you almost feel powerless to this energy, or you can't. Yeah, I'm starting to feel a blockage there now. Let me move forward here. What do we have at the solar plexus? It's like an energy of feeling completely powerless, like you can't do something. It's like knowing you need to do something, but constantly making up excuse for it or them or something like that. What do we have the solar plexus, please? Queen of Pentacles at the solar plexus. There is a lot of envy here, Libra, coming off of these energies. It's like they would much rather go to war with you than to just support you. 10 years ago, if somebody said that to me, going through what I was going through, I'd be like, nah, that's not true. You're crazy. They love me. They support me. But now, with the awareness that I have, and 10 years on, and going through the awakening process and accepting specific truths, I wouldn't disagree at all. In fact, I look back at that old version of me, and I can't believe that I didn't see it. I sensed it. I remember feeling a sense of something, but you don't want to accept it, right? That's the thing, not accepting it. You blame yourself. Some of you may have even come from childhood dynamics where you were always to feel like you were to blame for something that was going wrong in your family. Even as a little kid, this is just an absolutely horrible way to be raised. And again, I totally relate with this one, Libra, because I remember as a kid feeling like there was things in my environment that were my fault when I had nothing to do with them. And I never had anybody telling me that it wasn't my fault. In fact, I remember very clearly people telling me that it's my fault, it's because of me, right? But I was also the result of two individuals who absolutely despised each other and were on the verge of going separate ways, and then I came along. So I wasn't necessarily brought into a loving environment. It was very chaotic. It was very violent, and it was very dark. And a lot of that was put onto me. I was meant to feel, I felt alien. I really did. So I felt the need to share that, Libra. I feel that's going to really resonate with somebody. Some of you just need to know that you're not alone in this world, that some people have gone through similar to what you've gone through. That can always be helpful to hear. It can help you pull through, because I also remember going through a lot of this sort of stuff and feeling like I was an isolated case. I just felt that there was nobody else that was going through what I was going through, and that's a really lonely place to be. I remember specifically wondering if there was anybody on the entire planet that would understand me or who has gone through what I've been through. And now, especially after doing what I do here with my channel and tarot and stuff, I have connected with thousands upon thousands of people that have gone through very similar, almost exactly the same. And that in and of itself is very healing, Libra. Just the knowing that you're not alone is healing in and of itself. So for whoever needs to hear that, you're not alone, okay? I promise you, you're not. What do we have at the heart, please? Six of Cups, Scorpio energy at the heart. What a card to follow everything I just said. See, there's no face. It's like you don't matter. You're insignificant. You don't have an identity. It says right there, fruitless labor. So it's like nothing you do is ever going to do anything. This is the kind of energy I'm getting here off of these people or whatever this is. For some of you, it could even be a story you tell yourself that is rooted in something that took place in your past here. The Six of Cups can also speak about the need to stop living in the past, right? Get out of the past. It's like you releasing the past is the necessary component to step into the rest of your life. And trust me, I know that's much easier said than done, Libra, but you're on the verge of doing this. You're gonna do this, and you have to understand that you have to do this, okay? Do it for yourself. Do it for all of those out there in the world that are just like you, because not doing it is giving your life over to these energies, the principalities, whatever it is for you. It's like this energy wants you stuck in the past. It's like, it reminds me of those movies that you see when an individual's stuck like in a haunted house or something and they can't get out. They open a door and they're just back in the same room. They just keep going around in circles. It's just like this nightmare. This is what this feels like. And this really speaks about an element of the matrix theory, right? It's like being stuck inside the matrix of your mind, which is all the result of a specific way you've been living, which again is rooted in a way that you were raised, a way that you were programmed. There's a depth here, Libra. But there's also a message here around these other individuals refusing to grow up. They're stuck in the past. And I have to say it again, they'd rather initiate a war with you than to support you and allow you to move forward, because they cannot live with themselves in the knowing that you were able to accomplish something that they couldn't. And then we have the Ace of Wands, O male, fertility and multiplicity. Aries, Leo, Sag energy. Libra, there's a whole new beginning here. And it feels like there's something attached to this new beginning. There's a lot of inspiration here. There's this energy of great creation. You know, what you've gone through here, Libra, well, it doesn't really surprise me that this is coming up, because it's like this is a part of your story. It was all meant to happen like this because it arms you with something here, which is what the Ace of Wands really is. The power of creation. Overcoming the obstacles of your past, overcoming the darkness, and now the divine arms you with something to move forward on your path, to not only empower yourself, but also empower those that you come in contact with. That's always going to be a part of your divine mission, helping others, however that shows up for you. What do we have at the throat, please? Knight of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy at the throat. And this just followed what I said. Right here it says, discovers hidden treasures, reveals secrets, right? So it's like you get on your path, you remove yourself from these energies, right? You don't wait for them to remove themselves, because they never will. You have to extract yourself from that situation. And then all of a sudden the divine's like, hey, Libra, good job. We've got something for you. All of a sudden you start getting downloads and ideas, mission statements, or being transmitted to you, because this is the result of you self-empowering. You know, when I went through this the first time, I felt like I was at the end of the line in my life. I just felt so deeply unsatisfied with where I was at. I felt very unseen. I felt forgotten. I was aware of my shortcomings. I was aware of the mistakes I'd made on my path. I was willing to do whatever I could to do the right thing and make up for my missteps. And I did. That was one of the first things I did. I tried to do whatever I could to really bring some sort of closure to the bigger errors that I made on my path. But I still felt so deeply unsatisfied, and it was during this time that I was just getting a lot of signs and synchronicities coming through. The divine was really trying to push me to move in a certain direction. So when I started out down that path, what I started to discover was this increase in my hunger for life. I started to get flooded with ideas, things that I could implement into my waking life. It's like I did a little bit of healing, and the divine would gift me with an idea. And the idea was always connected to that thing I healed. In a nutshell, it's like you healing yourself from something which arms you with the wisdom to now heal others with what was ailing you, right? That's the simplest way I can put this. And that just kept happening over and over, Libra. And then I got to the point where not only had I completely transformed myself spiritually, physically, mentally, everything from the ground up, I was no longer recognizable, but I had this intense hunger for life. I had too many ideas, too many downloads coming through. Even now, it's still the same, because that is the result of getting into alignment with your true north, your intended path. Okay? What do we have at the third eye, please? Oh, wow. Five of Pentacles, Ashaiya, the forbearing God. Patience, reveals secrets of nature, spreads knowledge and industry. So, confirming everything I just said, but also highlighting the fact that Five of Pentacles is typically an energy of a lack mindset, a poverty mindset. But from this deck, I read it in its positive polarity. So it's an energy of hope flooding back through. So this Five of Pentacles represents that dark cloud, right? Hopeless, feeling like you've been forgotten. But now all of this turning around once you've gotten on your path, just completely confirming everything I just said. Unbelievable. What do we have at the crown to close out the reading, Spirit? Oh my God, perfect. 10 of Cups, Ha'el, God, Master of the Universe, Divine Warrior, confounds the wicked, brings victory and peace. And I love this 10 of Cups because, as we can see, there's 3 individuals here. That's your higher self. This is you in the here and now, and there's your inner child. There's this great calibration that is taking place. It's like you're coming into alignment with yourself. All of these different timelines converging together to create this shift, to create this push, to help you elevate into the new timeline, Libra. You also may be having a lot of deja vu right now. This is one of the signs that there's a version of you on another timeline that is trying to actually transmit a message to you. So pay attention to all these little signs and synchronicities. This is telling you, this is signaling you that you're on the verge of a major breakthrough. This is an alignment that's taking place in your life right now, Libra. And I think you know now what you need to do based on all of the messages that we've channeled through for you. Libra, this is the message I have available to all of you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Libra. Take care.